Hey Patreon fam, so this is my Housewives Rewind, and the episode is The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 1, Episode 9, The Dinner Party from Hell. So the cast for this season was the OGs of Beverly Hills, Kim and Kyle Richards, Adrienne Maloof, Taylor Armstrong, Lisa Vanderpump, and Camille Grammer. Like money, Lux. I fell in love with Beverly Hills as soon as I saw the first season. I think it's still my favorite franchise. The reason why I chose this episode, and thank y'all for voting for it, is this was a very memorable one. Like this dinner party, I think it set the trend for dinner parties on Housewives. But anyway, let's get into the episode. So we open with LVP. I mean, she's driving around in her Beamer with Kyle. Oh, I haven't said that in so long. So next scene with Camille and Taylor, they're getting lunch together. I believe at this point in the season, Kyle and Camille, like they were going at it. Like the Vegas trip already happened. You're such a fucking liar, Camille. All that happened. I think that was the main drama between the group, those two. Because they were both type A's, like type A mean girls. Ooh, and Camille was so evil this season. I remember, like they let her have it. To the point where she cleaned up her whole image season 2. So during this lunch, Camille invites Taylor to her dinner party that she's having in Malibu to get all the ladies together since they haven't been since the Vegas trip. So Taylor basically asks Camille, who all gonna be there? Like, it's just gonna be the 6 of us? And Camille says, no, it's gonna be a friend of mine and another one who is a medium. Her name is Allison Dubois, and she actually has a show, well, at the time, I think it was on NBC or CBS, and they had this show that was based on her life or whatever. Camille also gives a disclaimer that Allison is just her friend. She's not going to ask her to read anybody. Like, that's not why she's there. She's just there to hang out. But we know that somebody at the dinner party is going to ask her to do that. Camille then adds another weird disclaimer about her friend saying, well, I hope Allison doesn't get drunk. And then we cut to her confessional and she's saying, well, you know, my friend Allison, when she has a couple cocktails, she kind of hits below the belt. I think we knew that Camille was intentionally trying to get that woman drunk. Because we'll see. Because I remember she was serving some cocktails that was stiff as fuck. I miss this sinister Camille because she really gave Kyle a run for her money. Like Kyle, like she was just as sinister, but she would try to do her dirt in the dark, like throw the rock and hide her hand. Y'all know Kyle is Snake too. These were 2 battling snakes through season 1. So next scene we're with Adrienne, her mega mansion, and her and Paul are still married, so he constantly got on this woman's nerve throughout the seasons. I think seasons 1 and 2, all they would do was bicker, and at first we thought it was cute, but then like it got kind of serious and they hated each other, and then now they're like good friends, I guess. They co-parent, and they both got like partners that are younger than them. But anyway, this was their cute era. I actually liked them as a couple. Seeing Adrienne just casually make peanut butter sandwiches just out of nowhere, I just don't believe her. Like, she was just doing this for the scene. So as Paul walks in and she's making these sandwiches, it's obvious that he has a bandage over his nose, and I'm guessing one of the kids did that to him. As Paul is telling Adrienne how much his nose hurts and how the kids actually did that to him, she does not give a fuck. Actually, she thinks it's pretty funny. Yeah, Adrienne loved to emasculate Paul any chance she got on camera. So next we're at Camille's house and she's inviting all the ladies to her house for the dinner party. First she calls Adrienne, who has a whole butler to answer her phone for her. Then she calls Kim, who she sounds a little woozy on the phone, and we all know what happened. We didn't know what was going on, but we knew something was going on behind the scenes. I'm guessing nobody knew since Camille is saying, oh, I want to invite you to a cocktail party. I don't know why this scene is just so entertaining. All she's doing is just inviting the ladies over the phone, but everybody has something with them. Like now she called Lisa. She's like, Lisa, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Like she totally fell for the whole like fake voicemail prank. Like she was really like, you can't hear me, Lisa? Can you hear me now? She even took her off speakerphone. So last but not least, Camille calls Kyle to invite her to dinner. And she says, oh yeah, Kyle, I want to invite you to my house for dinner. Kyle's like, oh, on the other line. Unfortunately for Kyle, she paused too long and she realized she couldn't come up with a lie quick enough. So she's like, oh, I was supposed to go to dinner with a friend, but let me try to see if I can get out of it. But can I bring her with me just in case? She wanted to just invite backup. Ooh, I wonder was it Faye? I can't remember. The morally corrupt Faye Resnick. So next scene, it seems to be the day of Camille's dinner party. We're with Lisa Furs as she's getting ready. I forgot how she used to talk to Jiggy. Come on, you little sex monster, give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. It was very weird. So next we're with Kyle and she's getting ready. She's talking to her hairstylist about her trepidation about going and saying that the friend that she brought was indeed Faye Resnick. Also, look at Portia. Wow, she really grew up in front of our eyes. Like, she is 3 years old in this scene. So now she's like 16 or 17? That's crazy. So now we're at Camille's place. She's getting ready. She has her minion doing her makeup for her, but that's her good friend Dee Dee. She's going to be at the party too. I see why Kyle brought backup. She knows she was going to need it because she couldn't depend on Kim. Let's just keep it a buck. Whew, Camille was insufferable. Lord, shut up. Like, her voice is just so grating. She'd just be talking about herself. I see why Kelsey was just away all the time. Her house is amazing though, but I'm thinking this is the one that burned down, like the season where Denise joined. So now we're with the other ladies as they're on their way to Camille's house. They're in a white stretch limo. Do people ride in those anymore? Meanwhile, across town, we see Kyle and Kim. Surprisingly, they're together, and also Faye. They're in a black stretch limo on their way to Camille's. So we're in Kyle's car. She's just telling Faye like how she hoped nothing goes wrong here, and she doesn't know what happened in New York and why they were going at it. And then we cut to Camille, who's telling her friends, you know, like how she hoped nothing happened. She don't have to kick anybody out her house, and they're laughing over drinks. We knew, like, something was going to go wrong, terribly wrong. So the first set of ladies get there. It's Taylor, Adrian, and Lisa. And they meet the ladies, and just already, just Allison, she just seemed like she got a screw loose there. But, you know, her and Lisa have a friendly exchange, and Lisa's judging this woman already. You can just see it on her face. So Kyle and them arrive, and she greets Camille. It's very fake, like, hey, how are you? I brought you something. Those cocktails are huge. Like, you could probably hold it with two hands. They're like goblets. Yeah, Camille knew what she was doing. She was trying to get all the ladies drunk, particularly her friend. So at the little cocktail hour, all the ladies are seated. Everything's cordial right now. Everyone's getting along. So already Camille's oddball friend is just making some weird statement about, oh, it's the weekend. We can be bad, but in a controlled setting. Like, everyone, just the looks on their faces like, what the fuck is wrong with this bitch? Like, Kyle needs to hide her facial expression because the way she just flinched at her, the vibe at the table is just so awkward. People are just trying to, like, ignore how weird Allison is coming off. She's clearly at least 2 to 3 sheets to the wind right now. Like, I even think Camille's a little embarrassed by her. Cheers to alpha women? Lord have mercy. So the topic changes and Camille asks Kyle, so how do you know Faye? Who's Faye? Like Faye isn't even at the table right now. So Kyle is saying, you know, she's a family friend. She's like a sister to me. For some reason, the messy cameraman zoomed in on Kim when she said that. And then Camille says, oh, I know how I know her. I've seen her naked in Playboy, in front of the entire table. So calculated. Oh, shit. Oh, she posed in Playboy naked after the OJ trial. Damn. That was a jab. Clearly it was a jab. Camille definitely started this. We're keeping score. She then tries to clean up her backhanded compliment to Faye by saying, oh, you looked great in there. And the iconic line, we cut to Camille's confessional saying how she knows Faye Resnick. Oh, yeah, like the blonde hair, the big fake lips, the morally corrupt Faye Resnick. That stuck. It's still stuck. Yeah, Camille's laying it on thick. She just said, I loved your spread. Literally. The ladies are laughing. They're keeping it cute right now. And Faye, she's being very poised. Like, if I was her, I probably would have threw some shade right back at Camille because Camille, she's feeling herself right now. They're at her house. She's at the head of the table. She is total mean girl right now. Kyle then finally returns Camille's serve by asking her, oh, well, weren't you in Playboy? Child, so now this is the topic at the table. We're talking about who was the most naked now. Like, oh, well, I was just wearing lingerie. I wasn't completely naked. We cut to Camille's confessional and it just looked like she just had it out for Faye. Like, she knows her whole background. She's like, oh, well, I posed for Playboy in my 20s. Like, not after a murder trial when my friend got killed. I don't want to be associated with that. And there you have it. Ooh, Camille was a bitch. So now a little bit later, Lisa clocks in for the mess. So now she's asking Allison about what she does. And it looks like she's asking her like to do a reading. And you know, we remember early in the episode where Camille was really against the ladies asking her to do readings. What a weirdo. Like, Lisa knows what she's doing. She's blowing smoke up her ass. Ooh, Lisa, this was like her. She was a puppeteer this season. And Allison with this electronic cigarette is really taking me out because she's being so theatrical with it. Like, so now Faye is asking Allison for a reading and Allison's being a little bit spicy. She's like, don't tempt me. And then pulls a drag out of her electronic cigarette. So I'm guessing most of the ladies are now just egging Allison on to do a reading. And then Kyle's like, you know, well, can you do a positive one? And Allison, she's starting. She's like, I don't want to, you know, you might not like it. And, you know, Camille, oh, say it. So she starts to read Kyle. She tells Kyle, oh, are you on your second marriage? Kyle's like, yeah, like I'm on my second husband. And she's like, oh, well, I'm glad because like that's your last, but he will never emotionally fulfill you. Come on, seriously? That's rude. Like now the whole table's kind of taken aback by this. It's like a pin drop. I will say though, Kyle ain't never scared though. She's like, anything else? And Allison tells her something about keep the wall down for other women or something like that. And she's like, no, that's not me. Like I'm a girl's girl. Actually, it seemed like Allison's predictions were more so for Camille, following what happened to her. Since her husband couldn't emotionally fulfill her, she got divorced, and you know, y'all know what happened. So far, the energy at the table is kind of leaning. It's almost about to go left. So unfortunately, the topic now turns to Camille and Kyle's beef when they were all in New York. What Camille's doing right now is just so calculated. She brought her friend to stir shit up, try to embarrass Kyle, like get back at her for, I'm guessing, chewing her out in New York. Like, all the ladies can see it. They're trying to keep it cordial, but it's about to go off the rails. So now Faye is finally clocked in. She's defending her friend Kyle to the psychic and Camille, and now they're going back and forth. They're really going at it right now, and I'm kind of on Faye and Kyle's side because Camille started all of this, like this tension. And now Camille is saying, oh, well, Kyle, did you just bring Faye here to just like defend you? Was this like calculated on your end? I'm like, Camille, wait a minute. Like you have the psychic and your other friend as your backup. And clearly you had your psychic liquored up so she can come for Kyle. So now Kyle and Camille are now going back and forth about New York, and Kyle is just kind of reading Camille, saying like, well, Camille, you were being fake because that's who you're pretending to be. Allison tries to interject, and Kyle's like, I'm not talking to you. You're boring me. Like, the niceties are gone now. It's getting pretty disrespectful now. They're arguing. It's basically Allison and Camille versus Faye and Kyle. Like, Allison just told Faye to take a leap, and now, like, the other ladies are just really taken aback, and everyone's uncomfortable. One of them needs to stop it, because they're going to just keep going. Allison has completely taken over the conversation. Camille's just sitting back. It is getting wacky how Allison is just slowly turning into a cartoon character in front of our eyes. So then Camille brings up New York again, saying like, I was told there were things said at the airport. And Kim says, yeah, because I was asking you what was going on and you told me about Taylor. So now Taylor and Kim get into it because I'm guessing Kim is throwing Taylor under the bus because Taylor had a big mouth. And she kind of instigated the beef between Kyle and Camille even further. Camille is at the end of the table getting her life. Now she started another argument at the table. And we know Kim will read a bitch. So for some reason, Taylor's telling Adrian, you need to stand up and stop this now. Like Adrian's some type of referee or something. Adrian clearly does not want to be involved in this. Kim tells Taylor, why don't you stop it? Why don't you? She was like, you need to stop talking to me because you're off your rocker. And then Kim tells him, why don't you go blow up your lips some more? And then Taylor gets up, enough, enough, enough. My favorite line from Taylor, enough. I thought this was that game night. Well, I guess this is the first time she did it. Wow, Taylor has really had it. She gets up from the table. She tells Kyle, let's go. Yeah, dinner's definitely over. The ladies who all came together, they're leaving. They're still by the table arguing though. And Kyle tells Camille, like, I don't get this. I don't have these arguments with women. You don't say, Kyle. 13 seasons later, Camille's still playing this fake innocent act. She's like, Kyle, I have nothing against you. And she has this Cheshire Cat grin on her face. Camille is a dog with a bone because she keeps talking about like her beef with Kyle in New York. They're going back to Kelsey. I'm guessing the statement that was said is, who would want her without Kelsey? She was triggered by that because of what she was going on with Kelsey at the time. And as they're going back and forth, Allison is still interjecting, saying that's a fucked up thing to say, with her electronic cigarette in her hand. Kyle's had enough of her and she's like, no one's talking to you. Kyle basically tells her, fuck you, and walks off, but Allison keeps talking. She's like, you've done nothing. You've done nothing. Afterwards, all the ladies just finally leave. Like, Camille doesn't even bother to let them out the house. They see themselves out. She sits back at the table with her two minions. The psychic is still going off about Kyle. Oh my God. Now, this is when it got dark. She says, I can tell you when she dies. I can tell you what happens to her family. Wow. And after this moment, we never seen this woman on TV again. And of course, her show was canceled. I'm not sure if it was canceled because of this, but it got real dark real fast. I can tell you when she will die. The fuck? And Camille laughed at that. Ooh, the backlash she had after the season. So now as the ladies are leaving, Taylor and Kim are going back and forth again. And now Kyle, she's mad at Kim. And she's blaming her for that argument. If you see me arguing with Camille, why would you argue with Taylor? Like, Kim didn't do anything. She was just saying the truth about what happened. You should be mad at Taylor because she was riding the fence between you and Camille. Justice for Kim Richards. Meanwhile, we're back in Camille's house and they're just still talking about Kyle. Allison's calling her a little bitch, a mean girl in high school. Like, Camille's just eating it up. They're kikiing about it. Why haven't the ladies left yet? And then we see the sprinklers turned on. I'm guessing they're waiting on their cars. Also, was Kim drunk in this scene? I don't know. You can never tell with Kim. Like, it was either like, you know, maybe some medication or maybe she was secretly drinking. So the ladies finally get to their cars. Back inside, Allison's just being more and more offensive, talking about missing children and shit like that. Camille is still giggling. Kyle, she's still a mean girl too in her own little way. So, sister of the year here, she really sent Kim home in a limo by herself while she went with the girl she was arguing with, Taylor, and kikiing with Adrian and Lisa. Poor Kim. Like, Kyle has always been treating her dirty. Lord, why are we back with Camille again and Alice? And they're just still like just talking mean shit about Kyle. Now her husband stepping out on her, dating the nanny and more. Oh, so now we're with Kim by herself in a limo and she's saying like her sister left her like just by herself while they're all kikiing. So then Kim calls Kyle and we see Kyle in the limo. She's like, ugh, Kim. Yeah, she didn't even answer the phone. Like, just treating her sister like that. Kim was right, y'all. Like, Kyle didn't give a shit about her. Kathy? Kathy was a real sister. I do feel like, though, like, Kim was a little drunk in that scene and Kyle didn't want to deal with her. So she just left her. That's my theory to it. I could be wrong. So basically in this scene, Camille was obviously like a villainous mean girl, but Kyle was the same way. Especially how she's treating her sister, and she tells the other ladies, oh, let's go to Beverly Hills Hotel for a drink. All while Kim is by herself in the limo trying to call Kyle, and Kyle is intentionally ignoring her because she said Kim didn't have her back. And she's high-fiving Taylor, who clearly was riding the fence earlier, like I said. They really all just in that car and just left Kim by herself, like all 5 of the ladies. Child, and then the scene ends with Kim still on the other line, just waiting for Kyle to pick up. An iconic episode. It was just peak white lady drama. Peak rich white lady drama. Please let me know what y'all think about this episode. Beverly Hills has come a very long way since this scene. Not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's still my favorite franchise. But with that, y'all, I will see y'all for the next Housewives Rewind. Until then, bye.